Now, I've said this more times than I can remember, but I'll say it again. The View is by far the most vile program on live television, let alone on ABC/Disney as we know it. We know that it is definitely worse when you're looking at all of their programs than Jimmy Kimmel Live or Good Morning America as far as I'm concerned. Because of those like Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and others saying such inflammatory things either on live television or behind the scenes in front of a live audience that attends their overall program, and it only gets worse as time goes by. Now, we already know that Disney executives are having serious conversations, and we talked about this as well, of really revamping The View, turning it into something else entirely new by 2027. We'll talk more about that as well later. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with how Sunny Hostin created an entire outrageous moment, not just, of course, for the rest of the hosts like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg, but for the many ABC producers, executives, the editors on set, and even the director and more. Now, what's interesting yet again is that we know that Sunny Hostin is reckless. We know that she is relentless. She will always actually pursue the anti-Trump messaging campaign to no end, and that's basically what she does. It's a personal thing, and we already know that there's a lot of drama going on with Sunny Hostin and her husband, who is really, cased in fraud right now. We'll talk more about that as well. But what's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with what's going on with, of course, The View, and we're talking about Sunny, Whoopi, and Joy, and what kind of trouble they recently got in, as they recently got censored by ABC executives, producers, the editors on set, and more. So, interestingly enough, alright, ever since, of course, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and the most recent No Kings protest, still causing many celebrities to say the most offensive things about Charlie Kirk and Trump, one major development going on now involves more to do with the hosts of The View, Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Joy Behar, who were recently censored after doing something outrageous on the set of The View via ABC. Now, it turns out that for one of their most recent episodes for The View, Sunny Hostin dared to bring up yet another subject about Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk, where she began to ask Joy and Whoopi Goldberg their thoughts about Trump politicizing Charlie Kirk's assassination to run for president again in 2028 and to get a third term. Now, this entire conversation, get this, escalated to where Whoopi Goldberg started to go on a long-winded rant about how Trump and Kirk supporters are entertaining the idea of fascism and a king running the country, which was followed by a series of comments provided by Joy Behar, where she displayed her opinion that Trump is politicizing Charlie Kirk's death to scoot his way around the laws to win a third term as president by 2028 by becoming vice president and having J.D. Vance step down. Now, Joy also made inflammatory comments that she believed Kirk's death fueled Trump's administration to entertain the idea of running for a third term. This entire conversation that was sparked by Sunny Hostin escalated and got out of control, where the audience started cheering for Joy, Sunny, and Whoopi, saying such things about Trump and Kirk supporters to the point that ABC took advantage of their intentional broadcasting delay and did something that they usually never do. They cut out the entire segment, which explains why one of their most recent episodes aired the next program earlier than usual in the morning, which was a brief world news segment this time running around for 5 minutes roughly. To make matters worse for this entire situation is that the hosts of The View were reportedly absolutely furious after the episode wrapped, where they actually approached ABC executives, producers, and the director that runs The View, along with the editors who were forced to make this call. Sunny Hostin was reportedly shouting at the entire control room of the executives, producers, and editors for doing such a thing and doing their job, and getting them censored, and already this being, of course, brought up to the up and up over at the Walt Disney Company, which is only putting Sunny Hostin in a very bad place, get this, as conversations rise to either replace her or to bring on a conservative guest to challenge her conversations just for the sake of ratings. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, the fact that you have people out there like Sunny Hostin entertaining these ideas, really just spewing out these ideas on The View, it really just goes to show you that Disney is just asking for this to happen. ABC, they too are just asking for this to happen. They wouldn't have to put themselves in all this drama if they just got rid of Sunny Hostin right now. Now look, and we all know that the contracts are very, very complex when it comes to the host of The View here and there, but they are getting suspended left and right from a series of episodes for November and now December. We'll get to that in just a second. Interestingly enough, yet again, we know that Sunny Hostin is not going to stop. I mean, this type of behavior is going to keep on going for as long as, it goes. All right, as long as she's on air, as long as she remains as a guest on The View, or a host, I should say, bringing on guests for the show, you're going to see more and more of this happening, especially as you get closer toward the midterms in 2026. The only reason why they were silent for at least dialing it down on that rhetoric about Trump for a while in the past, 2 or 3 months, had a lot to do with the fact that things were just stagnant for them, right? There were no real conversations for them to really just build on. Ever since the whole Charlie Kirk thing and the No Kings protest, now you're seeing that escalate, unfortunately, and it's only getting worse as time moves on. Now, on top of that, editors had to act quickly to utilize the intentional broadcast delay by ABC to prevent this inflammatory segment from even appearing in front of millions upon millions of people. However, audience members were able to witness this. During this taping, there were no hecklers, surprisingly, this time around by Republicans and/or Trump supporters, which has been going on and actually is creating an uptick in the number of them, putting them in the hot seat. And you know what? I think that they deserve that. Now, we know that there's a lot of things going on with Joy Behar as well. We know that she's also trying to hop back on the anti-Trump messaging campaign, trying to really do an uptick in that and bringing up those talking points again, which is exactly why I feel Joy Behar really had no hesitation to entertain Sunny Hostin's overall opinion and her talking point. If they really wanted to, Joy and Whoopi, they could have challenged Sunny and said, maybe let's not get into that right now, let's focus on something else, but they improvised and they went with the program, and it really put them in a point where they got censored by ABC execs, and now you have those out there like Bob Iger really trying to stabilize the entire situation. Now, one thing is for certain about all of this is that we know that The View, ABC, Disney, and others, of course, that are in that whole bubble, right? Jimmy Kimmel Live, Good Morning America, the whole ABC sphere, if you will, really is going in a downward spiral when it comes to ratings. So far, The View's ratings have been tanking recently. This is all based on what's been going on, not just behind the scenes, but also on air, based on what Sunny Hostin has been spewing out there on live television in front of millions of people. I'm not saying that you have millions upon millions of people watching every single day consistently. It's erratic right now. It's an up and down roller coaster for Disney, and they're in pure panic mode. But we know that Sunny Hostin is not helping at either case to really just bring ratings back up to the point that they were at last month. Now, what's interesting here yet again is that we know that Joy Behar, Whoopi, and Sunny, they are going to continue to go down this path, and we all know, right? We all know that the closer you get to 2026, as I said before, you're going to see this rhetoric happening over and over again, and people are just checking out. Even fans of The View are done. They are actually moving on. They're walking away. They're just pretty much, saying we're done watching this program now. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.